vote.
Yeah, that many people still know are smarting over his comments as he rode down the escalator. That was the first sign that this would be a very unusual type of campaign, his entrance. But he talked about building the wall, and that was the first time that, it was a jaw-dropping moment when he referred to Mexicans as rapists. Many people still have not forgotten those comments from that day one.
Yeah.
The irony, of course, is that the very first people that he insulted may have the last word tonight.
Yes.
Charlie Rose is with our political panel, and they have been talking about Hispanic voters tonight. Charlie?
Thank you very much, Scott. We've continued this vote about Hispanics. I want to talk to Leslie Ruth Marcus here, and Leslie Sanchez, and Frank Lunch. Frank, what do you think is going on in the Hispanic community, and how large will this turnout be, and how influential is it in this election?
If the white community is angry, the Hispanic community is insulted. They were insulted by the language that Donald Trump used. They were insulted by the tone. And every time he would say that Mexico was going to pay for the wall, whenever he talked about immigration policy, they felt like he was telling them they weren't welcome. And every time they said that the Hispanics, they love me, they don't. And I'm looking across the country, and it's not just on border states. It's also states like Colorado, Illinois. The Republican Party in general, Donald Trump in particular, cannot win when you are only getting 25 to 30% of the Hispanic vote. You cannot put together a majority, and they are the fastest growing segment of American society and the greatest switch away from the GOP over the last 10 years.
And I'd say one other thing to that, which is you use the word insulted. I would actually use the word incensed, because I think that
driven to the polls.
Driven to the polls. But if you're insulted, you might sit home and just seethe. They're going.
If you're incensed, you will get in the car and go vote.
Getting in the car. And it's not just, I suspect it will be not just the Hispanic community. We saw this 4 years ago with Asian voters, who would be typically Republican voters, deserting Mitt Romney. I think you may see that again, maybe in even greater numbers this year. So when you insult kind of one ethnic minority and a bunch of immigrants, you insult even more than the Hispanic population.
I think the question tonight is this going to be the largest rejection of a GOP nominee in basically recent history. Republicans have earned about 31% of the Hispanic support for the last 10 presidential elections. The question is he going to perform below that? Are we going to get in Bob Dole territory of 21%? But one thing I would caution is that big wave, what he has managed to do is unite a dormant Hispanic community that it doesn't vote in the numbers that they can.
The Clinton camp is saying there's a new coalition. It includes Hispanics, and it's a larger coalition than even Obama had.
And I'd say it's way too early to see that. Barack Obama made the same declaration in 2008, and then Republicans won control of the House in 2010. He made the same declaration in 2012, and the GOP won Congress and the governorships in 2014. These things are temporary. But make no mistake, Charlie, both Republicans and Democrats are looking at these numbers and saying that this group that is moving so fast, that is growing so fast, is going to be a nightmare for the GOP going forward unless they adopt a new message and new policies.
Well, and the GOP knew that, right?
Yes.
4 years ago, we had this famous autopsy. They diagnosed their problem. They set out the solution.
Their problem was on outreach. We've got to reach out.
And specifically immigration reform. Where was it? What are they going to do now?
We have to go back to the desk, Nora.
All right, Charlie.